What is a movie that's considered terrible or mediocre by critics but you love it? Asterisk 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 Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Titan A asterisk asterisk, both were panned critically and by audiences, but they're actually entertaining animated films asterisk 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 The Exam 2009 asterisk asterisk 8 candidates vie for a corporate job through an exam that has one question. 13 Ghosts, I really enjoy watching it and I don't know why. Better Off Dead. Constantine. 13th Warrior. Accepted 2006, in some ways I'd call it a film masterpiece for its commentary on education and careers. Lucky Number 11 has a 52% on Tomatoes but I love it and have watched it at least a dozen times. The Last Action Hero was great. George of the Jungle. Big Trouble in Little China. It's a cult classic now, but for a long time it didn't have the best reviews among fans and critics alike. Con Air, and it's not close for me. Hook. I still don't understand how this amazing movie didn't do well with critics. Both national treasure movies. Repo Men, starring Jude Law. Sure, I know it might be too violent for some and the ending has issues, but I don't think it deserved the harsh reviews it got. The acting was still great, the movie was surprisingly funny at times, and it had a cool premise. Edit. Okay, despite saying Jude Law is in it, everyone here thinks I'm talking about Repo. The Genetic Opera. I haven't seen that one, I've only seen the Jude Law one that also stars Forest Whitaker and is not a musical. Although I've heard the opera one is a cult classic, so I guess that could count too. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. The ending of that movie made me cry so hard. Treasure Planet. Did terribly by critics and in theaters but now has a cult following because in my opinion, it's one of the best Disney movies. The Chronicles of Riddick. Starship Troopers. Megamind. Don't judge me. Edit. Thank you. Down Periscope. Hook. I love it. I loved it as a kid. Still love it. Bangarang. Mystery Men 1999 didn't get a lot love but it's actually hilarious. Van Helsing 2004. Troy 2004 was hated by a lot of people, but I found it more enjoyable than most films I've watched. It looks good, the battle scenes are great, there's lots of veteran British character actors expertly hamming it up, and Sean Bean actually survives till the end. What more does it need? Eurotrip and Not Another Teen Movie and My Quick Draw. Great bad movies. Tremors. Mallrats. Don't know for sure, but I'm guessing it wasn't a hit with the critics. The majority of romantic comedies. I really don't care, the world is so full of bad things, and terrible endings, that a predictable romantic comedy is soothing at this point. Bride Wars tops my list. It's terrible and wrapped up in the thought that all women dream about is being married, but the rom-com part of it is two best friends. Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. I find it to be one of the most infinitely quotable movies of all time. Some parts of it haven't aged well, there's a Matrix bullet time parody, but most of the bits that are there are still hilarious. Tron. Event Horizon by a mile. One of my favorite sci-fi horror flicks. Fuck that 28% RT score. The Day After Tomorrow. Chappie. Meet the Robinsons, it's the oh my movie that absolutely tugs at my heart. I still kinda cry to this day when I watch it. Maybe I have daddy issues. Personally, for me, it's flipped. It's a nice, sweet story about a romance that led into teenagehood and also showed how quick people can judge things based on what they see. I was genuinely surprised when I found out it wasn't well received. Congo. Joe Dirt. Don't try and church it up, son. Asterisk Biodome asterisk. It is by no account a good movie but I love it. 50 First Dates. Empire Records. Just watched it and surprised critics said it was just a fluffed up soundtrack. It's over one day, and intended to be a moment in time piece. Mars Attacks. The original Ice Age, the sequels were a huge letdown, but the first one was still really good. The Waterboy. Yes, it's dumb, but I still enjoy it for its dumbness. Clue. 10,000 BC. The Cutting Edge. Toe Pick. Josie and the Pussycats. It's a Wonderful Satire. A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. Absolutely love it. Pacific Rim. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, most underrated comedy of all time. I know it's a cheesy movie and is product of the 90s, but *Varsity Blues* has a special place in my heart as the greatest unintentional comedy I've ever watched. Office Space. Remo Williams. The adventure continues. The new Power Rangers movie that came out in 2017. I think it has around a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I think it's great. It has some of the best teenage characters in a movie. They're complicated and relatable. The plot goes into detail about the mythos of the Power Rangers and what their powers entail. It's also fun with some darker moments. It gets cheesy at the end, but it's still for a younger audience after all. I think more people should check it out. The Sandlot. Idiocracy. Joe versus the Volcano. It's an old movie that had absolutely horrendous reviews, but I love it. In fact, now I have to go see if I can stream it anywhere. Grandma's Boy and That's My Boy. Waterworld. Reign of Fire. AVP. It's an alien hunt that takes place in an underground Antarctic pyramid. Alita. Frankly, I have never cared what critics think. Speed Racer. It is a wonderful family film and stays true to the cartoon. Way ahead of its time. Wild Wild West 1999 with Will Smith. The two leads have great chemistry, and the fantastical steampunk setting is glorious to behold. I don't understand how nobody else liked it. It's basically the prototypical Marvel movie, a superhero action comedy with sci-fi elements, except it's got secret agents instead of superheroes. The Postman. Post-apocalypse. Kevin Costner accidentally rebuilds civilization by pretending to be a mailman. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. The Men Who Stare at Goats. Nacho Libre. It has like 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. I watch it like every other day and still makes me laugh. Signs. My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Crank, and Crank 2. Fucking Poetry. Knowing. But I'm a Cheerleader 1999, loved this movie, thought it was funny and touching. My mom and I bonded over it when I first came out. Garfield has a 14%, but I love it. Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, 22% on Rotten Tomato, but it's part of my childhood and I still love it. How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. It only has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes and I have no idea why. I think the costumes are great, and Jim Carrey is entertaining as the Grinch. We watch it every year at Christmas. Hudson Hawk is fantastic. UHF. What Dreams May Come. It has a lot of mixed reviews and some people seem to just really hate it for some reason, but I thought it was a really interesting concept. I think some people only wanted the funny side of Robin Williams, too, but there was so much more to him. And it was really beautiful visually. John Carter. Mamma Mia. It's so silly, but I love it. Armageddon. Yes, I know it's unbelievably cheesy, and the plot makes no sense. But I still love it all the same. Warcraft. Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Roderick Rules. Nacho Libre. The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Murder Mystery with Adam Sandler. It's just stupid, dumb fun. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. Lady in the Water, M. Night Shyamalan or So. Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. It's a fun throwback to 1930s pulp science fiction. Hotel Transylvania. Blah blah blah, gets me every time. Call Me Crazy. But I thought the Tom Hardy Venom film was actually pretty good. RLLY funny and good action. The Sonic the Hedgehog. The story is good and the fact that the producer changed Sonic's look also helps. It's pretty stupid how the movie has a 63% like rate on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.5/10 on IMDb. Weekend at Bernie's. Hot Rod, The Boondock Saints, The Double, most of all, *** Beauty and the Beast 2, Enchanted Christmas ***. I will fight a bitch on this point, it's actually so good beautiful. 2003 Hulk was panned by critics, yet I love it. Mostly because of Eric Bana and Nick Nolte. Hardcore Henry greater than sad face. The Baywatch movie with The Rock wasn't such a bad movie, as critics would have wanted you to think. It was just a dumb funny summer movie with The Rock in his usual charming self. The Lion King II, everyone says it's another Disney direct-to-video sequel cash grab, but I love the characters it introduces and the music. I may be biased because I watched it as a child but I still dig it. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Not because it's rated badly by critics, but none of my family or friends like it much. Captain Ron. David Lynch's Dune is a masterpiece and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. Rock of Ages. Conan the Destroyer. Bill and Ted 2. I still think Tokyo Drift was one of the best Fast and Furious movies. Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Waiting. It's like Clerks I guess, but about waiting tables. Raunchy, hilarious, disgusting even, and the restaurant was named Shenanigans. Come on. It was good. Edit more info. The 2005 film has Ryan Reynolds and has 30% on both Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes. I've rewatched it so many times. Never gets old. Lucky Number 11 and Constantine are pretty mediocre rated by critics but are two of my all-time favorites. Clue. Pitch Black. The 13th Warrior. War of the Worlds. Tora. Getting 55% on RT and 46% on Metacritic showed me just why I shouldn't trust movie critics' judgments. She's Out of My League, 46 on Metacritic. I love Jay Baruchel and it's a really sweet rom-com despite some of the more sex comedy elements, plus pretty awesome and hilarious supporting characters. I could maybe do without the pube shaving scene.